To Ron Siegel Radio on ESPN Radio 1700. Now, live in studio, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, Rich Gaines, Legacy Legal. Welcome.
Hi, Ron. How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for being here. Looking forward to a great chat this morning. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. Don't we? We have something to celebrate every day. We are living in a wonderful country. We get the freedom of speech. We can say what we want. I get to come out here and cause a little trouble every single morning. Some people say I cause a little bit too much trouble, but that's the beauty of where we are. And today, we get to celebrating National Nacho Day. You gotta love it when you can celebrate National Nacho Day. Where are you going to get your great nachos? Obviously, every Tuesday we're celebrating Taco Tuesday. If you're following us on Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, you are seeing where we're going. So we hope that you'll come and visit us each and every Tuesday at a different location. Frequently, you'll find us right there in Newport Beach. Gotta love Newport Beach. Great place to be. Moving right along. So make me think about being 5 o'clock and getting a little. I better not go there. It's too early for thinking about that. Speaking of too early for thinking, Jerry Brown is in the news once again. It's hard to, he's the governor of the state of confusion in the news. What would he be doing this time? Well, apparently, and obviously I was not there, so I do not know, but apparently he's using state resources to check on oil fields on family property. Does that surprise you in the Democrat Party?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Every once in a while, like if you're awake or if it's a day that ends in Y, there's another scandal coming out of the Democrat Party, and this one here, be interesting to see what happens with this one. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what's going to come of it, but that Jerry Brown is in the news. We also have Nancy Pelosi making some news, talking about how she's looking out for the average person. Really? Yeah.
So I know whose ass to kick.
Yeah, which average person is she looking out for?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. You're right. So what's she up to this time? Well, just another average winemaker, fourth richest Californian in Congress, and that's because of her vineyards. Now, most people have a problem with vineyards. What's the problem with vineyards? It's the old standard joke, and you know that I talk about wine every Wednesday morning. I drink it a little more frequently than that. The old joke in the wine industry is, how do you become a millionaire in the wine world? Start out as a multimillionaire. But apparently Miss Pelosi has done a little better than that.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Yeah, they opened up their winery, and it's a vineyard on the banks of the Napa River. Apparently there's just a few people that like her vineyard. Eric Schmidt from Google. Tom Steyer, yeah, he's the billionaire that has bought and paid for the President of the United States. Governor Jerry Brown is one of them in there as well. So you wonder how she got to be so successful when so many other people lose money in wine. And Miss Pelosi, she's made a little more than her fair share. How could we be talking about fair share and Mrs. Pelosi? I'll move right along. See, a lot of people got some new jobs, it looks like. Had a good jobs report out today. And here's where we're going to connect the dots for you. You know that I like to connect the dots so you're not out there on the outside looking in. The jobs report came in today. And what effect is that having on our market? What are we seeing from it? What do you need to know about it? Well, I'll give you the straight scoop right now. There were 271,000 jobs added to the economy in the month of October. Now, I understand that we keep adding a lot of jobs, 271,000 for the month, way above the expectations of 180,000. But let's put this in context a little bit, because we did report that number yesterday of first-time jobless claims, pretty close to the same number as all the people that got new jobs last month. And now let's look at what does that number mean. In 2015, we are averaging 208,000 new jobs per month. And remember, you got to put it in context, we added 271,000 in the month of October. But we added 260,000 every single month, on average, in 2014. This is the first time we've gotten above that number all year. And they're not going to tell you that there's still 94.5 million Americans that are out of work. They're not in the labor force. So that's why I share with you on a regular basis that U3 number is a totally misleading number. That's what the government's going to tell you today, that unemployment dropped to 5%. Very, very misleading number. Is it accurate? Well, the number comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, but does that mean it's meaningful? No. So what we really want to be watching is what is the U6 number, because that's going to tell us the number of people that are unemployed or underemployed. That's where that 95.5 million Americans being underemployed or out of the workforce comes from. So where does that U6 number, 9.8%, is where that number stands as of the end of October, down from 10%. Moving on a good trajectory, but still 9.8% of Americans unemployed or underemployed. Part of the number that came out looking a little bit better, wages up 2.5% year over year. That's a good number. But if you're old enough to remember, if you're old like I am, you might remember probably 1979 or 1980. We had an economy that was not doing very well. It was sluggish. I mean, we saw the GDP number was not a very good number when that came out. And we were in the midst of an election season. And the question that was posed was a very, very simple question. It came from a simple man, Ronald Reagan. He asked the question, I think it was during a debate with Jimmy Carter, how do you feel? Do you feel better today than you felt 4 years ago? That's the more important question, because even though we've got these numbers in the White House and the politicians and the media spins it for their own usage, the important thing is, how do you feel? Are you going to spend money at the holiday season? Where are you going to spend money? Do you feel comfortable enough to spend it the right way? Have you saved any money? Those are the issues to think about. Obviously, Tuesday night, we're going to have another one of the debates. It'll probably be a real debate as opposed to that dog and pony show that CNBC put on a couple of weeks ago or a week ago. And obviously, the Democrats don't have debates. They just have 2 hours of talking points. But it's going to be very interesting to see where we go and what do these numbers mean. Right now, we're looking at, with this so-called great jobs report, the Dow Jones is down 17.5 points as I'm speaking to you. The 5-year Treasury, or the 10-year Treasury that I watch all the time for you, that's up about 9 basis points, 9/100ths of 1%. What does that mean to you? Well, here's the whole issue within that, all those numbers. It means, what is the Federal Reserve going to do? Yesterday, we've got, back up even further. 2 days ago, we heard from Fed Chairman Janet Yellen, or Chairwoman Yellen, that it looks like we're going to raise rates in December. Hogwash. Yesterday, we heard from one of the members of the Federal Reserve Board, Lockhart, that doesn't think we're going to raise rates. He's the one that's the accurate one. I'm telling you that right here, right now, because you need the truth.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Who appointed Janet Yellen? Well, it's President Obama. Do you think he wants to see rates being increased to create a recession, to slow the economy in the last year of his presidency? Do you think he wants to go down having the same experience that happened with George W. Bush during his presidency? I don't think so. Just going on record telling you, no matter what they say, and I know the markets are saying different, rates are not going up. Don't worry, you heard it first here, because you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to talk about financial planning. We're going to talk about Fannie Mae's housing forecast. Idea on credit cards? What are we talking about that? Are your affairs in order? Get your head out of there. We're talking about estate planning. You can reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Ron Siegel Radio Date Night Trivia, presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Friday, Ron will pose a question based on-air conversations during the prior 7 programs. The person to post the answer according to the guest conversation will win a date night package, including a dinner gift card for Reunion Kitchen and Drink. You might even be able to say hi to Ron when you visit Reunion Kitchen and Drink.
It's not every day your home gets flooded, but when it happens, you've got the good people at Apris on your side. With over 25 years of construction and insurance experience, they can turn any disaster around, making your home good as new. For 24/7 support, call 844-GO-APRIS or find us on the web at www.apris.me. Day, night, rain, or shine, when it happens to you, you know what to do. Go Apris. Remember, call 844-GO-APRIS. That's 844-462-7747.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to the Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio, or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Don't forget, today is Friday, so we will have our date night trivia question presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink, so don't go away if you want that gift card. Dinner for two at one of our favorites, Reunion Kitchen and Drink. We've got some movie tickets, a Starbucks gift card, all part of the package there. So we're looking forward to finding the right person with the right answer for that question. But before we get there, it's time for the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. You know that it's important for you to know what your household net worth is. How do you make intelligent decisions with a lack of intelligence if you don't have knowledge? And I shared with you on a regular basis, Zillow, Trulia, they have all those online sources. In their own propaganda, in their own websites, they'll tell you they're off many times by as much as 20 or 30% on the valuations of a piece of property. How do you get great knowledge? Well, it's simple. It's a professional equity analysis report, and all you need to do is text PAIR, P-E-A-R, Professional Equity Analysis Report, to 79564. One of the area trusted real estate professionals will get you that report after a few minutes of consultation with you. Where is housing going? That's always an important question for us to look at because the economy is so heavily based on housing. And I'm just going to share with you some information that I've received. This is from Fannie Mae, dated October of 2015. 30-year fixed mortgage rates are projected to increase steadily over the next year. Housing starts are going to well surpass 2015 numbers. Home sales will reach an annual rate of over 6 million by the fourth quarter of 2016. All that is some strong economic numbers coming from Fannie Mae. And how do you use those numbers? Well, if you're thinking about buying or selling a house, now might be the best time. Don't you want to take advantage of some of those increases? The sales increase, the value increase. And if you're buying now, the mortgage being where it is today with Fannie projecting an increase there as well, your choice. If you want some great information on it, all you need to do is text PAIR, P-E-A-R, to 79564. I'll have one of the real estate professionals reach out to you and get you some great advice. Speaking of great advice, I'm going to speak this morning with Rich Gaines. He's an attorney with Legacy Legal. And Rich, before we get started, I got to throw in the disclaimer that I always like to when I get some of the licensees coming in, is we're just giving educational information. We're not giving legal advice and accounting advice and financial advice on air. That would be pretty foolish. So we don't do that kind of thing. What we want to do is give you some education, some background, and then if you want to meet Rich, just go to the Facebook page, that Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook. I'll have his contact information there so you can meet Rich personally. So I got to get that out of the way. So welcome, Rich.
Nice to be here, Ron. Good to see you.
Thanks. So I understand you've got something called a Mind Money Strategy Academy. Not only is it a tongue twister, but what else is it?
I love this. For the past 7 years, I've been involved with building out this organization. And so the Mind Money Strategy Academy is an organization that works with people to grow, protect, and save their money and turn it into wealth of values, beliefs, and traditions. Each section, of course, of the Grow, Protect, and Save model has various different keys. It has various different principles, various different ideas that we get into with business owners and families as well.
One of the issues that you brought up there, and I don't even know if this is where you're heading with it, is business owners and the concept of a business owner and them spending some time protecting their wealth. And I wonder sometimes when you're talking about that, are you talking about, protecting from creditors, protecting from litigation, or is it from protecting from loss of value?
Well, it's a little bit of both, actually.
Okay.
So the traditional structure, if you will, and that's what our law firm, and I've been a 30-year practicing estate and tax planning attorney. So our core business is, of course, working with families, building wealth plans for them, looking at their generational wealth, setting up entities and different structures. So from the protection perspective, it is about the structure of the entity. And so traditionally, we use the corporations or the LLCs, and that's to protect the business owner from creditors so that their personal wealth can be protected. But we also have the flip side of that, which is something that I don't think people really look at and appreciate as much, which is about saving money. And when you talk about protection from the savings side of things, it can actually be more valuable, because what we find is that many times business owners are focused on the next sale, the next sale, the next sale. And so they're looking at the revenue side. If we can help keep more money in your pocket, not only from taxes, but from creditors, from lawsuits, from resource management, and the various different aspects of business, then how much more valuable is that for you to keep that money in your pocket versus having to continue to spend it on new client acquisition, new marketing strategies, everything else. So our goal with not only the Mind Money strategy, but of course the traditional estate and tax planning, is to help you to build your wealth for yourself, for your family, and for future generations.
I think I'll ask you this. I'll just go with my opinion and then ask you what your I got an opinion. You've got experience. So I think yours is probably a little bit better than mine. But a lot of times I see business owners are so focused on the top line that they're mindful of profits, but they don't set those as the target number to say this is where I'm heading. And they also rarely do I ever hear from business owners that they're looking at exit strategies.
Absolutely, that's huge. And you're absolutely right, Ron, that I find that most business owners are so concerned about where the next sale's coming from, that top line revenue, that they forget about all the expenses, all the taxes, all the resource management, the things that eat away those profits. And a lot of times the business owners, we get into this all the time with when we look at various different types of businesses. So the question is, what kind of business do you want? And when we talk about the grow area of the Mind Money Strategy Academy, we're looking at the planning phase, we're looking at overcoming emotional and mental barriers, and we're looking at planting seeds, which are the foundations for success. So when we talk about planning for a business, a lot of times people don't realize this, but there's an old cliche, which is before you ever get into business, you should be thinking about what you want to do at the end of that business. So some business owners, quite candidly, they're the traditional mom and pops, and they work all their life, and they may or may not have saved up money, and when they're done working, the business closes, and that's it. And they've had a nice life, and they've raised their kids, and their kids are off doing what they want to do. There's a lot of other options. There's the question of, do you want to grow a business in order to sell that business? I've got a business right now that I'm looking to sell, and it's that's the traditional or the true entrepreneur. Build a business, sell the business, make some money, and then use that money to invest in another business. That's how entrepreneurs work. There's other strategies. Do you want to have a succession plan? I heard you talking about earlier about the wine country, and the families that are in the wine business are very much generational families. They raise their kids. They take over the business of the wine, the family business of developing wines, and so that's another question: is does a business owner want to have other generations succeeding in the family business? Does the business owner want to bring in a management team so that the business owner can start to remove themselves from the business? So you're absolutely right that
a lot of business owners end up being handcuffed, right? They're handcuffed to the business. They can't enjoy life because they're so busy with the business.
Absolutely, and I call that more the solopreneur than the entrepreneur. So the solopreneur is the person who has created a job for themselves. I like to describe it as they have a multiple personality disorder, because they're involving themselves in all the different aspects of the business. They're in sales, they're in operations, they're in the collection, they're in the financing, they're in production, they're doing all these different things in the business, as opposed to thinking like a business owner, where the business owner can step back, they can delegate out some of those responsibilities, they can grow and do the things that they're really good at, and bring a team into really making a business for themselves, as opposed to just having the job of doing what they do best and then having to do all the other pieces of the business business, which they may not be very good at.
And I would suggest in many instances, a lot of people, they start a business because they've got a passion for doing something. And as the business grows, they do less and less of what they're passionate about. And they've got to do all the other things that you just went through. And they don't ever plan. I mean, again, it's that solopreneur. I love that term. I might have to borrow that one.
Solopreneur?
Solopreneur. But then because that's really what it is you've created a monster for yourself as opposed to a business, a lifestyle, a pleasure. I mean, I think people get into business for themselves because they want to have a great life, and the business has now consumed everything. And we're going to talk more about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. More about the business, working on the business instead of in the business. Maybe that's the concept here. We're going to continue our conversation with Rich Gaines, Legacy Legal, the Process Mind Money Strategy Academy. We'll continue that conversation. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Southern California attorneys have over 15,000 real estate agents to call in Orange County for their personal and professional needs. Why do they overwhelmingly call Melinda Johnson? Simple. It's the Melinda Johnson trifecta. Melinda is an attorney, real estate broker, and realtor. Does your family deserve the same professional services California lawyers demand? Call Melinda Johnson at 714-863-5485. That's 714-863-5485. Or on the web at freedomfirstproperties.com. Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
37% of American homeowners believe they have over 20% equity in their homes. Fannie Mae tells us 69% of American homeowners have over 20% equity in their homes. Fully 1 in 3 American homeowners are not informed about the amount of equity they have in their homes. Are you one of them? How might this be holding you back from achieving your goals? Text RSR CMA to 79564 to get a property valuation from one of the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Again, to know how much your home is really worth, simply text RSR CMA to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 90, the Your Credit Matters segment today, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. Every one of them are wrong, in my opinion. I've never seen one that's completely accurate, and I have seen many, many of them over the last 20 or 30 years. No matter what anybody tells me, I'm still waiting to see the first completely accurate, not perfect score, but completely accurate report. I have never, ever seen it. What are you doing about it? CreditSanitizer.com. They've got the credit professionals there to help you. They also have the service. LifeLock is part of the service. They've also got the service where you can check your credit report anytime you want. Do you want a mortgage report? Do you want a car report? The real ones, not the fake-o reports. So what do people with great credit scores have in common? And here's an interesting study. NPR compiled data from the National Bureau of Economic Research showing that 73% of consumers with a FICO score of 800 pay off their credit card balances in full every month, compared with easy for me to say, compared with fewer than 1/4 of consumers who have a FICO score of 700 or less. What is that telling you? It means that paying off your credit cards in full is a great idea. 30% of your FICO score is determined by the amount you owe. 30% of your score comes from the amount you owe. Now, I shared with you in many instances the little trick of the trade. It's not a matter of paying your credit card off in full after you get the statement. If you want to maximize your credit score, go online, find out what your balance is about a week before your credit card statement date, not the due date, but the statement closing date. Make the payment so that it gets there before the statement closing date. That way you minimize your balance when it's reported to the bureaus. Because if you have a credit card that say it's got a $10,000 balance or $10,000 limit, and you've got a $9,000 balance, and you pay that in full after they've already reported, the bureaus never know you paid it in full. You want to pay it before that date so you get the full benefits. That is your Credit Matters segment again today, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. And we're going to continue our conversation. Rich Gaines, Legacy Legal, is our guest today. Mind Money Strategy Academy is what we're chatting about. So what's your favorite? That's a book, right? Or is it?
The Magic of Money is the book that just came out, and I'm very excited. It's on Amazon. It's both in Kindle and hardcover. So it's a fantastic book. It's 21 action strategies to help make money work for you.
What's your favorite?
My favorite chapter is Pay Yourself First. But before I get to that, I really have to pick up on what you just talked about when it comes to credit card and debt and people who pay it off and people who don't pay it off. The real challenge, I think, honestly, in this country is that people are in debt. And when you're in debt, you're beholden to those credit card companies. And my metaphor, if you will, is you're a hamster on a wheel. And you're the hamster on the wheel paying everybody else before you pay yourself first. And Pay Yourself First is the chapter in the book that I love.
Love it. That was a great segue. We didn't even plan that one.
I didn't plan that, so it just comes out. It's all good. People are struggling harder and harder. And so what Pay Yourself First is about, it's a mindset. It's about changing the way we think. Because most of the time what people do is they make their money either from their salary, their wages, their business, whatever it is, and they say, oh, I got to pay all my bills. And by the time you get done paying all the bills, what's the next thing that happens? You're in the next month and you're going, oh, I got more bills to pay, so I got to make more money. And so you're on this...
Sounds like a hamster.
You're on that hamster, man. You are on that wheel. And paying yourself first is the way you build wealth. It's the way you build assets. And of course, you know that, Ron, from the work you do in the mortgages and the financial industry. And when you start building wealth, and it doesn't have to be a lot necessarily, but if you can put away $10, $50, $100 every single month from the money that you're making, all of a sudden at the end of 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year, you start to realize that you're building up a savings account, you're building up a wealth account that starts to make you money. And as you build up that wealth, our psychology changes. The psychology changes in that you start getting positive. You start thinking to yourself, wow, I can really do this. I can start to have the things that I want for myself, for my life, for the future. And so you're no longer in this state of confusion. You're no longer drowning in all these debts and the operations of the business, the working in the business as opposed to working on the business. So the pay yourself concept, it has many different layers, many different levels, but the key idea is that you take a little bit out from all the money that you make, or all the income that comes in, and you take a little bit out, you put some in different accounts, you put some in a savings account. The savings account is something that you might be saving for, like a TV or a stereo or new clothes or something that you want for yourself that's a little more short term. And that's kind of the immediate gratification idea. And then you put some money into more of a wealth account. This is an account that you really don't want to touch, because at the end of the day, the more money that you can accumulate in a wealth account, the better off you're going to be at the end of the day, because that wealth account is going to start to generate money for you. It's going to start to generate income. It's going to start to accumulate and build and grow. And so all of a sudden you get to a point, and I'm not necessarily saying this happens, in 6 months or a year. This happens over time. It could be 5 years. It could be 10 years. But when that happens, then you begin to realize that you've got money working for you. You have money. Money is working for you, that you're making money work for you, which is.
I have a friend of mine that made a comment one time. He says his definition of wealth basically said, I can do anything I want, all the money I need to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and the time to do it as well. Right? It gets back to that idea that you were talking about before, where you're so busy working so hard, making money, that you can't enjoy any of it. Right? I mean, that's the whole idea.
As I've gotten older, I realize that there's only one thing in life, and that is to have some fun. You have to have fun in this life because, and I've had some situations around our organization where my law partner's wife passed away. We had another guy have a heart attack, and I started looking at that, and I'm going, wow, what are we doing here? Are we working 14-hour days, 16-hour days, and what kind of fun are we having? What kind of lifestyle do we want? Now, look, I understand that it's different for everybody. So not everybody has to be a multi-millionaire. You can have a comfortable life. You can enjoy your children. You can enjoy the pleasures of going out to dinner and being with family and friends. So those are the things that really, really count in life. And so it becomes a question of what is it that you want? What do you want are the 4 words that I absolutely adore, because to me that sets the tone for everything else. What do you want? And it doesn't matter. Everybody is different, and that's okay.
Absolutely. And one of the things I love that with your plan that you were just mentioning in the Pay Yourself First chapter is the idea of the savings for immediate gratification. So many times all we ever hear about is we're saving for retirement. And I was at an event last night. It's a trauma intervention program. It was their Evening of Heroes. And they talk about with this organization, a great organization. They're volunteers that are there on the worst day of somebody's life. Mm-hmm. And nobody plans for the worst day of their life. Right? One of the ladies was talking about a child that drowned in Laguna and a spouse not getting up in the morning. People don't plan on these things. But when you're talking about the idea of your pay yourself first, if all you're thinking about is retirement, sometimes you get a little disillusioned. And if you've got a second account or a separate account that says, okay, I'm working toward a vacation, or I'm working toward a new big screen TV or the car that I want, those are all some things, those are more immediate that you can say, wow, I accomplished something.
That's absolutely correct, and it's actually our human nature. I've been doing a lot of research and studying into behavioral economics. What is the behavior of how we deal with our money? And it's our human nature to think about immediate gratification. We want that next purse. We want that next car. We want that next TV, whatever it is, those things that make us feel good. And so a lot of times what happens is people put off the planning for the future, and when they put off that planning, it can be very devastating. And so the Mind Money Strategy Academy and all the years of what I've done in my legal practice has been to create a bridge, and that bridge is to look at the plan that you want and then take the action steps to implement the plan today so that you can build wealth, so that you can have a discussion about what's important to you in life, and you're living your life, you're setting those goals, you're taking actions each and every day. So the savings account helps to satisfy that idea of the immediate gratification, but then the other accounts, the other things that you do are to plan for that future, to plan for the retirement, so that at the end of the day, that retirement will actually help work for you. And I want to make a comment that most people talk about outliving their assets, and that's become a real fine distinction in the financial community. I talk about having the cash flow to fund your lifestyle. It's not about outliving your assets. What I think people are really fearful of is they're not going to have enough money to make sure that what they need every single day and every single month is taken care of. So part of the strategy is to look at what tools and what things can be used, what strategies can be used to make sure that you have the money you need for your future. Not necessarily that it's $1 million or $2 million in the bank, because if the stock market goes down and you lose that money, you're in big trouble.
Sure.
So it's cash flow. Cash flow is king. That's one of the concepts.
And that's very, very important, because the big thing that I hear when I talk to people calling us and wanting some guidance from the show is basically, the seniors especially, they're afraid of being dependent. They're afraid of having to count on their kids. Not that they can't count on their kids, they just don't want to. They want their independence. They want their house. We're going to talk more about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. More with Rich Gaines when we come back. And date night trivia presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a loved one who wants to stay in their home, but you have health concerns about it? The Preferred Care team understands the challenges of caring for your loved ones. Their goal is to keep seniors as independent as possible while maintaining their health, safety, and overall well-being. Whether you need just a few hours a week or 24-hour care, Preferred Care caregivers are trained to meet your needs. Call Preferred Care at 714-696-9150. That's 714-696-9150. Or visit preferredcare.com.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800 1-800-306-1990 or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
At Big O Tires, Friday through Monday, buy 2 select tires, get 2 free with an alignment and tire protection package through Monday at participating Big O Tires. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Word on Wealth segment today brought to you by the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio, Apple Computer. Have you heard of them? How about Disney? They reported their earnings just recently. Came out with a good earnings report. How about Verizon? Yeah, what do all three of those companies have in common? Every one of them has a board of directors. Big companies, lots of smart people, boards of directors. Do you have a household board of directors? You know that I'm a big proponent of the household board of directors. And to set one up, it's very, very simple. All you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Take the 3-minute survey that we send you, and we will help you set up that household board of directors. Again, text ATP to 79564. We'll help you set up that household board of directors. And they are bringing you the Word on Wealth segment today. The question of the day: are your affairs in order? I was sharing with you during the last segment that I was at the 20th anniversary dinner of the Trauma Intervention Program. It's TIP. And most people have never heard of TIP. I hadn't heard of it until about 6 months or a year ago. But it's an organization that cities subscribe to. And the only people that can call TIP volunteers are first responders, firefighters, police, nurses, hospitals. And the volunteers will come out on a person's worst day. Someone's passed away, a major car accident, drownings, all these type of issues. And the one thing that comes to mind on this is nobody ever plans for these catastrophes. Right? They happen. You don't have a reservation for a car accident by definition. My question to you is, do you have an estate plan in place? Now, I'm going to answer that for you because the answer to the question is yes, you have an estate plan. If you live in the state of California, you have an estate plan. The question is, who's going to develop it for you? Will it be you in consult with an attorney, one of the area trusted professionals, or will you be going with the default plan that the state of California has in place for all of us? I don't trust the government for taking care of a lot of things, no less taking care of my kids, my house, my estate. I want it done myself. So have you taken a look at yours? There's another issue. If you created your estate plan in the early 90s and when you started having kids, maybe in the 80s when you had kids, 70s when you had kids, and you set it and forget it, probably needs to be updated. Get in touch with one of the area trusted professionals. Again, just text ATP to 79564. We'll help put that together for you and put you in touch with the right people. Again, I am not an attorney. I don't do these things. I know about them. I bring you the right people to help with them. And in the meantime, how about a little bit of date night? It's Ron Siegel Radio Date Night Trivia presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Dinner for two at Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Great place to go and eat and drink. And you got movie tickets, Starbucks, all of that included. The question always comes from somebody or something that was said on one of the prior 7 shows on Ron Siegel Radio. So today the question is, Stevie Ceccarelli was here earlier in the week and told us about the Kids Works program. And last year she told us these underprivileged kids, high gang related areas, they had their seniors last year graduated, how many, what percentage of them graduated on time and went to college? What percentage graduated on time and went to college? If you are the third person to post the correct answer, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, you will win the trivia package. Again, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. Third person, put the correct answer on there. It's a real high percentage. About as high as you could possibly get. Any more hints needed? Again, per Stevie Ceccarelli, how many kids worked seniors last year, graduated on time, and went to college? Date night trivia presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Continuing our conversation with Rich Gaines, Legacy Legal. Recent book is Magic of Money on Amazon. You can get that. We're talking about mind, money, strategy. Got so much to cover here, and we've only got a few minutes left, Rich, but got to ask you this question. I grew up here in Southern California, and in the LA market, we have a weatherman that's been on for years named Dallas Raines, which is kind of an interesting name for a weatherman. Johnny Mountain, another one of the weathermen. Rich Gaines. When did you change that?
Oh, I didn't change it. That is my name.
Really?
That's my true name.
That's not a pen name?
That is not a pen name.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
You got in the right line of work then.
I got the right line of work. Became a tax attorney, and the best part is my wife and I have twins, and they were born on April 15th.
You couldn't, well, I don't know. I don't want to cause trouble here, Rich, because we're friends here, and, planning on April 15th for twins. Now, I always said to my wife...
Well, we didn't plan on it.
I'm not even going to go there. That might cause even more trouble. But I did make a comment one time to a brother-in-law of mine because I wasn't smart enough to think about this. I was too young, and I said, if you're going to get married, December 31st makes a lot of sense. You can file taxes as a married couple.
Exactly.
Planning on kids, the end of the year, so you get that write-off for the whole year.
Exactly.
Would make a little bit, but you just planned it. You didn't want to have to be at the hospital while you're doing tax returns for all your clients.
I got lucky. I was able to go to the hospital and not have to do the tax returns.
Okay. Okay, so we didn't cause too much trouble here. No, I've been born to cause trouble, so sometimes I do that. What the heck? So I'm looking at some of our notes here, and it was interesting when we were chatting during the break about the different personality types that you were sharing and how those fit. So why don't we talk a little bit about personality types? Sounds like you got one of them sounds like a hoarder. Right? They make all the money and they don't want to spend it.
That's right. So in the, again, I was talking about behavioral economics, and I've come up with some different characters as it relates to how people deal with their money. So one is called the crybaby. And the crybaby, of course, is the person who whines and cries that they want it now, they want it now, they want it now. And so that's the person who has all of the immediate gratification and no planning. The hoarder, as you were mentioning, is what I call the miser. And so the miser is the person that's accumulated their wealth, but then they're so afraid of losing it that it actually works against them. Because one of the things we realize is that money only has value when it's put in action.
Sure.
When it just sits and does nothing, it doesn't help anybody. And so what the Mind Money Strategy Academy is about is looking at books, home study guides, seminars, and different types of resources to work with people and show them that when you put things like security in place, what does a baby need? A baby needs security. A baby needs to know that it's loved. And so when you do that, then all of a sudden the concern about, oh, I have to have it now, starts to go away. And so you can implement ideas about more delayed gratification. You can talk about the wealth building, the savings that we were talking about. When you talk about that person who's so afraid of losing money that they hoard it, that they become the miser, well, if you give them certainty that that's not going to happen. So how do we give them certainty? We give them certainty through things like the estate plan, realizing that this is the vision of what you want for your family. And the most important part of that is communication. People put plans in place, but then they sit on a shelf, they don't do any good, they take them out, the families are being ripped apart, they go into lawsuits, and all that good work and all that good thought goes to naught. And so the question becomes, how do we actually implement the plans without dying, of course? And
exactly.
So
that doesn't sound like a good idea there to me.
Not a good idea to die to implement your plan. And so far, most of my clients have done really well with that. They've made sure they live a good long life. But the importance of the plan, I think, is to have that communication inside the family. So it becomes, how are the kids being raised? How are they being prepared for finances? How are they being prepared for wealth? What's the thought process that's going in place? And how can the family really come together as a family to have those kinds of discussions? So that's really the deep passion that I have, is avoiding the problems that occur later on when the families don't communicate, when they don't implement the actions that they have. And so when they talk about the things that are important to them and they set out those ideas of their family mission or their family vision, whether it's having a vacation home, whether it's a tradition that they want to celebrate every single year, and making sure that those pieces are put in place before it's too late. And the before it's too late is when the parents pass away. That's when all hell breaks loose.
Absolutely. And the bottom line, it sounds like in almost everything it seems like a common theme that I run across in almost all the conversations I have. It's all about planning. And obviously my biggest item for you is to plan to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. If you want more information about Rich Gaines, the Legacy Legal, his plans, the books, Facebook.com. Go there, or I'll introduce you. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
But I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
ESPN 1700 AM, Baja California.
You're listening to ESPN Radio 1700.